This week we're making all of our interior selections. We're on a tight budget, so we'll be sharing all of our tips and tricks for saving during this process. Finding your perfect selections can be difficult on a budget. In this episode, we'll be sharing some tips and tricks on where to shop, what brands to use, and what materials to look for. We'll be covering cabinets, paint, stain, tile, and hardwood. Before you go shopping for selections, make sure you have some kind of vision of what you're looking for, whether that's a mood board, some inspiration pictures, overall just a vibe of what you're looking for. Otherwise, you will completely overwhelm yourself with the amount of options there are to choose from. I've already picked out a bunch of samples. I'm gonna have Faris come check them out and see what he thinks, but in the comments, let us know what you think about the samples and which ones you would choose.
Let's see who has the best choice.
Who has the best taste?
I don't think it's me. Cabinets are the first selection that you'll need to make in this process. You'll want to figure out your layout and design early on because your electricians will need to know where to put their wire, and the plumbers need to know where to put the lines in and where your fixtures will go.
We were able to draw up the kitchen cabinet layout according to our house plans. We will have a stain island with white uppers and lowers next to the fridge and a recessed stained coffee bar on the end. For the range wall, we will have a stone range hood surrounded by stained pantry cabinets and drawers. For the living room, we will have stained built-ins next to our stone fireplace. Now we just need to find the exact cabinet to match our inspiration. So we are here in one of my dad's model homes in the basement. We're here to pick out our cabinet samples. For our kitchen, we're gonna be going with Bridgewood cabinetry because my dad is a dealer of Bridgewood. It's a nice cabinet. It's made here in the United States, great quality. We're going to be using it in our kitchen and our built-ins in the living room. And then we're going to go to another supplier for our bathrooms and laundry room, a more cost-effective option. So Faris, I've already picked out a few for you to look at, but as you can tell, there's plenty of options, but I'll narrow it down to just 4 for you. Don't get too tired of the selection process yet. You're looking so sweaty. It's so hot.
No brain. I definitely don't like, this is like tanner. I don't want that. That's like, I don't want all white. I don't want everything to be all white. So we'll put that there. I think this is just a little bit too dark for what we're looking for. For this, I really like this. I think it looks nice. It's not too dark. It's still a little bit light. And then if we wanted to mix it up a little bit, like with the white, like it could give it a little bit of pop right when you need it.
Love it. Good choice.
I'm pretty much a designer now. Well, Lisa narrowed it down for me, I guess, from 105 to 4. So if we're gonna do 2, I'm guessing you're gonna go with these, Lisa.
Correct. Good job. Okay, so we're looking at our second line of cabinetry that we're going to use for the bathrooms and laundry rooms. These are called Lily Ann cabinets. They're a retailer online that you can purchase. They are imported, but they are about half the cost of Bridgewood. The quality is not as high as Bridgewood, but it is still really great for the price. The only downside is there's a lot less available colors and cabinet design options, but for the bathrooms, I still think we can find a good one.
These might be, this is too dark, I think, for what we're looking at. This is definitely not what we're looking for. I'm pretty sure you chose white.
I chose white. Well, the nice part is you can also paint them if you want to. And remember, people, half the cost.
Half the cost.
Home Depot and IKEA are also great places to shop at for affordable cabinetry. The Lily Ann cabinets are very similar in quality and in price, so I definitely recommend checking them out.
Now, if you didn't see our last video, I'll catch you up. We attempted to put in our veneer stone and we failed kind of miserably, not terribly, but definitely slowed us down, and so now we need to catch up. Therefore, we brought in some help to get this place primed for the paint.
Since we're so behind, we didn't even have time to pick out our paint colors, but the guys are here just to prime, so you don't actually need the real paint colors. They just need a sense of light and dark. For our entire house, we know we want to go with a warm white, and then our office something a little darker. So now that the house has been primed, you get a general idea of what it's going to look like. So again, this is just white primer, so no specific paint color yet. So now it's time to pick the real thing. So my recommendation is to purchase one of these paint sample books. You can get them on Amazon for about $30, or you can go to like a Home Depot or an Ace and check out all their paint samples there. They also have these books and samples that you can take home with you. So once you go and look at the samples, then you can kind of narrow it down from there. Now, if you have a long list of paints you want to try out in your own home, you can go to the store and buy quart-size samples and test them out on the wall. But for me, I don't like dealing with the mess, and getting all those paint samples can add up rather quickly. So what I like to do is grab these larger samples from a company called Sampleize. They just have a website that you can go on, and they have every paint supplier you can think of. And you can just order whatever color you're looking for, and it comes in this larger sample, and it also has a sticky back. Or if you don't want to use the back, you can also just use some painter's tape and stick it right up there. All right, guys, we have all of our samples. We're gonna see what Faris thinks of them.
All right, let's see what I think.
All right, let's go check out those paint samples.
These hips
Faris.
don't lie.
Let's go. Oh, gosh. So you knew we were going with a white, but now I wanna see what white you like. Here's our white cabinet sample. You can take a little gander with it.
Like, that matches that more. That one the most.
I know.
But not that one. Like, that's a clear difference.
So I agree with Faris. I think Benjamin Moore Chantilly Lace is way too white. Sherwin-Williams Snowbound is a great color. It does have a little bit of a pinkier undertone, with the White Dove has yellow in it. So that's why.
Pink undertone?
There is a slight pink undertone.
Wait, there is a slight? What do you mean?
So if you want a white with some kind of shade to it, not just a pure white, they have to add something to the paint to give it some kind of pigment of color, to give it some kind of undertone to make it look a little bit more interesting, versus just a pure white can be really flat. I think my favorite choice is the Sherwin-Williams Snowbound. It still goes with our cabinets. Our cabinets are slightly warmer, but since it's a neutral, it can still go along with this white. And we're going to have a lot of wood in here with a warmer undertone already. So I think this is just too much yellow. The wood's gonna bring out too much yellow. So our decision, Sherwin-Williams Snowbound.
I had no idea that picking out a white paint could be so difficult. I thought white was just white.
All right, Faris, we got our choice. Now it's time for the office. So please make your way to the office.
Jeez. I like green. I don't like this one at all.
Okay.
It's too light. This one, no, it's not it. It's between these two. Sayonara Suckers. Original picks. Fox. All green.
And this was actually my favorite pick too. So I'm really happy that you like it and that you came to the dark side, Faris.
We are 2 for 2 on selection so far. I have a pretty good idea of what Lisa likes.
So
I'm just trying to please her.
You're just picking what I like.
I'm just trying to pick what would please Elisa.
After you pick your paint color, it's time to pick your stain. It's a similar process, but slightly different. The reason being, you can't just go to the stain store and pick out a sample and think that it's gonna look exactly like that sample. And that's because different stains take differently on different kinds of wood. So a stain on this wood is gonna look different on this wood, which makes this selection process a lot more difficult. We have a lot of wood in our house, from the tongue and groove cathedral ceiling, the hardwood floors. We also have wood doors and stained cabinetry, so we have to get this right. So therefore, you just need to go to the store and buy the smallest quart-sized cans they have and test it out on the wood that you're using.
Sometimes you can find these quarter quart sizes in your local stores, but there's not gonna be a huge selection. If you need more and a better selection, go online, and you can usually buy these for about $5 a piece.
So today I'm in my parents' garage. We are testing out different stains for the tongue and groove in our living room. So I have 3 of them here. Gray Pine, it's actually from their deck series, and I asked them to put it in the woodscapes. They were able to do that. We got Varathane, Wood Stain, Sun Bleached. And then we have Bare, Water-Based, Age Wood Effects, Aged Gray. Okay, this is just straight up blue, semi-transparent, definitely not transparent. And then we almost have like a brown, but I'm
Very transparent. I think that one's my favorite.
I think so too.
Back to the drawing board, I guess.
Well, did you wipe it?
No.
Not sure.
Even it out. Well, yeah, you gotta even it out.
These toes, yeah.
No.
So after talking to Jerry, we realized my application process was slightly off. So we're gonna try the same stain again on another piece of wood.
You just had way too much stain in a small space.
Yeah, you live and you learn, you know? So this is the tongue and groove that we stained the other day. It has 2 coats on it, now it's fully dried, and we think it looks really great, especially compared to our cabinet sample. We think they complement each other really well. Since we need a lot of tongue and groove for our cathedral ceiling, we reached out to our local lumber yard to see what they had available, and it turns out that they can stain the tongue and groove for us, so we were able to send them our gray pine stain collection, and then they sent a sample of what it's going to look like.
This is the wood with no coat. This is the wood with 1 coat of their process of gray pine, and this is 2 coats. So this is 2 coats. You can see that there's a difference between our color and their 2 coats. Along with having different woods, the application process can also change the look of the stain. We chose to back roll our stain. They spray their stain and then back brush it, so it did provide a different look. It looks like our option is this, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I think we both like it.
I really like the natural wood look. It's slightly lighter than the stain that we did, but at the same time, it still complements our cabinets, and it's a more cost-effective option to go with our local lumberyard. There are many different materials you can use for countertops, but to fit in with our mountain organic style, we're going to look for stone slabs. When it comes to pricing for countertops, it's one of those things that has a base and can go up as far as you can imagine. So it's something you have to be very careful about when you're going shopping for countertops. One of my favorite places to go is MSI. It's a national brand. It's also a supplier that's sold at Home Depot, so it's a very affordable option.
MSI is a supplier of tile and countertops, and they have showrooms all over the US that you can go to and take a look at their products.
Before you go to look at the countertops, make sure you have your fabricator name. A fabricator is the person who installs your countertops, and the reason that you have to have their name is that the countertop supplier, so MSI in this case, is going to send the slab quotes to your fabricator, not you. So a lot of the times these countertop suppliers will have these groupings, and basically they can't give you pricing for the countertops because it's not a finished product or fabricated yet, so they put it in groups, like 1 through 10, 1 being the lowest and then 10 being the highest, so that you kind of get an idea of where pricing's at. So once you make your countertop slab selection and then they send the quote to your fabricator will come out to the house, do a field measure, and then finally send you your final quote. Make sure to pay attention to the grading system. Take it seriously because you could wind up wasting a lot of time if the slab comes in way higher than you expected.
This is like a very confusing process.
It is. You're walking like an old guy, like a grandpa.
For the kitchen, if you're considering a natural stone, there's 3 types to consider. That would be granite, quartz, and quartzite.
These 3 are the most durable for a high traffic area. Stones like marble and dolomite look really beautiful, but they are just way too soft for a high traffic area.
For our price range, we're gonna look at quartz and granite.
So here you can notice the difference between quartz on my left side and then a granite on the right side. So quartz can come in all different kinds of variation because it's man-made versus granite's real, so it's always gonna have this kind of speckly look. After looking at all the different kinds of slabs, I think we found a winner for our kitchen.
You think so?
I think so.
It's not quite interesting stuff.
Yeah, I like it a lot. For our bathrooms, we'll be checking with our installer or fabricator to see if he has any remnants available. A remnant is pretty much like a leftover piece that they use for another job, but it's big enough that they can use it for a small vanity or something like that in a laundry room or in a bathroom. Remnants are usually highly discounted, so it's a great option if you're on a budget.
When it comes to tile, we want to stay under the $3 per square foot range. The best places to shop in this range are Floor & Decor, Home Depot, Lowe's, but you can also find tile at a local store, maybe more, maybe less. For us, we found the best prices at these big retail shops.
We knew we wanted a darker tile in the mudroom to mask all of our dirt and to go with our mountain home vibe.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, walking past the kitchen. All right, let's do a process elimination here. Definitely not that one. Like I know we went into the place and we saw it and it looked good on the board, but I don't think it just doesn't
right.
look right here. Like, I don't think I like either one of these two.
Eliminate them,
So,
Faris.
elimination. You know, I like the natural slate, but we know that like it can cause like cuts, be sharp on your feet. It's not an issue for Lisa's feet. It's a natural stone. Over time it will be chipping off, so let's eliminate that. Okay, this is like the slate alternative, and because it has that texture, I love texture. The only thing I would say is that like it is darker than the natural slate, so the color is darker than what I would like. I think I like this one because of color.
I like this one for here in the mudroom.
Okay.
Because I still like this tile, that's our master bedroom, master bath tile.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. All right. Easy peasy.
Figured it out. Working out.
Okay, so since we have our tile selection here, this is $1.99 from Lowe's, which is a very nice price. And we're gonna carry it through our mudroom, and then since our laundry room is right here and our bathroom's on this side, we're gonna continue the tile from for all three rooms. There are durability qualities you should take into account before purchasing tile. Tiles all have a PEI rating, which measures the amount of foot traffic allowed on each tile, ranging from 0 to 5. 0 only being suitable for wall tiles and no foot traffic, and 5 being rated for public commercial spaces. There are many different kinds of tiles and different price points, but porcelain and ceramic are the most common used in households. Porcelain is more durable with a higher PEI rating. Ceramic has a lower PEI rating and is typically suitable for lower traffic areas and walls. You can find these details online at wherever you are purchasing your tiles from. Next up is hardwood floor. Hardwood floor is something you have to be very diligent in looking at because it can get expensive, but it's also covering a large area in your home. Especially for us, we also have the wooden tongue and groove ceiling. So we wanna make sure that our hardwood goes well with that. So for us, we're trying to stay under $5.99 a square foot. It can easily get above that. Some good spots to go shopping is Floor & Decor. They'll have some in this price point. And then a local importer will also have some hardwood in this price point. So for us, for our hardwood floor, we're actually looking for an engineered hardwood floor instead of a full slab of hardwood. And the reason being is that we live in Michigan, so it gets very, very humid in the summer and super dry in the winter, and wood expands and contracts, so it'll cause hardwood to warp, versus engineered wood is just a thin layer of hardwood on top of a high quality piece of plywood, so it allows a little bit more movement in the wood. So one thing I want to note when you're shopping at Floor & Decor is the quality. So if you're in our price range of $5.99 or below, the quality is not going to be the greatest. So the thing that you want to look at is the hardwood layer, and you can see it's very, very thin, which means you'll only be able to probably resand it and restain it maybe once. It'll damage a little bit easier versus the samples we got from the local importer are a bit more quality. So overall, Floor & Decor is an option to shop at because each plywood will be different. So definitely still take a look there, but I totally recommend going to your local importer to looking for your hardwood.
This is the cabinet color. So you're saying you want me to compare the cabinet color, this ceiling color, with these three. These three are
those three are our
engineered wood samples. You know, before I really wanted a light color. I feel like I'm gravitating towards a darker wood. Not necessarily any of these three, but like I'm gravitating towards something darker, especially if that's gonna be lighter up there.
So you're saying you don't like any of them? No?
No.
I recommend buying a couple boxes of the flooring, laying it out on your floor so you get more of a feel of what it's actually going to look like versus just relying on a small, tiny little sample.
You need to get a box.
Okay, or two.
Or three.
Okay.
It looks like we still need to do some searching because we haven't quite found the right floor for us.
But what we do know is that we both would like a darker floor to complement the rest of the wood in our house. So we can agree
think so.
with that.
It's an option.
This is the hardest part, when you don't agree with your spouse over these selections. That's probably the hardest part.
Not my spouse yet.
2 more months.
Are you on the dark or the light side?
What do you guys think? You like dark hardwood or lighter hardwood? Remember, the ceiling is really light. The cabinets are light.
I don't know.
Overall, the selection process can be slightly overwhelming, but we're hoping that these tips and tricks provided some guidance for you.
If you have a personal selector, it makes things easier.
That's me.
All right, there you have it. That is the end of our selections. Now we're gonna put these selections to work. In our next video, we're gonna start the tiling process. First bathroom, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.